everyone. I'm Kayla Scott. I'm here from the Ontario Brain Institute. I'm going to take the next few minutes to tell you a little bit about what our organization does. One of the things that I'll mention later that was just mentioned is our event funding program. We're always happy to be able to help support events that really provide information, support, and care in the brain disorder field, brain condition field. So with that, I'm just going to dive right in. So the Ontario Brain Institute is a provincially funded not-for-profit organization, and we're trying to accelerate discovery and innovation to help both people and the economy in Ontario. At our core, our vision is to make Ontario a world leader in brain research, commercialization, and care. So we're very much a big picture organization. And we want to make Ontario this leader through a collaborative team science approach. So not by having research its own thing, commercialization its own thing, and care its own thing, but by integrating all this and bringing it all together so that researchers can work directly with industry partners, can work directly with patients and advocacy organizations to really get this innovation and discovery going. Up on the slide here, we have this lab to life diagram we created to try to show how we try to support change and integrate all these different things. So it's fairly busy, but I'm going to kind of dive into the three main kind of activities areas we do to bring research and evidence-informed services and products into the care sphere, whether that be the formal, more health system or more the informal care system that community organizations can provide. So our first kind of arm that we deal with is collaborative research. So we fund these multi-site interdisciplinary research programs, and they broadly look at different types of brain health disorders or conditions. So in the middle, you can see we have like these 6 big circles. These are some of the research networks we've supported to date. Neurodegeneration, mood disorders, depression, neurodevelopment, concussion, and epilepsy. And these research networks integrate patients and industries into the activities they do. They all have, for example, patient and community advisory committees, so that patients and community organizations can directly provide feedback on the research questions they want answered and help interpret the results that the researchers are actually finding in their work. And this is all supported by a world-class neuroinformatics platform. So this is this database that allows the researchers to manage and analyze their data on it. And what's cool is because we support a bunch of different brain conditions and they're all housed on this platform, it means that some of the common things across conditions, like sometimes there's commonalities in sleep difficulties or in anxiety. These same things are studied across all these different disorders. So then we can look at bigger picture questions that regardless of the brain condition, how can we help anxiety or depression or sleep disturbances that are happening? So that's kind of our research platform. We also have a commercial innovation platform. So this is a series of different programs that are meant to help industry partners. At the top, we have one called NERVE. This is for entrepreneurs, so people who are developing neurotechnologies to help people with brain conditions. This program is to help them launch their neurotech. There's also the NERD program, which is more for early stage companies where they're really at the stage where they need to gather evidence to show that their technology is actually effective. And that's who that program's for. And then at the bottom in green, we have this newer program we just launched, and it's called Cortex. And this is for those technologies that, in the academic sphere, in the research sphere, sure it works, but does it really work in the real world? So this program is all about partnering the organizations who develop the technologies with community groups so that patients can get access to these technologies quicker. And then we can actually see do they work in the real world. And then the last kind of arm of what we do, and this is the branch I work in, connected care with people in more of the public domain. There's a couple different things we do here. One of the first things is we support the release of guidelines and toolkits and reports on brain disorders. So you can see we have a couple up here. One of the ones that we were able to help launch was the guidelines on concussion with the Neurotrauma Foundation. And then there's other ones depending on the research program that put out the guidelines or toolkits. We help them launch those. One of the reports that we recently did, and for those of you who came by my booth, I know some of you got a hard copy of this report. It's the Brain Health in Ontario report. So earlier we heard from the Neurotrauma Care Pathways all about traumatic brain injury and brain injury specific research and reporting. What OBI did is we looked bigger picture across Ontario, across 13 different brain disorders. What does it look like? And some of the highlights from this report is that, as of 2019, there's 2.45 million Ontarians that have a brain condition or disorder. That these really do happen across age. I think sometimes we get in our mind like neurodegeneration, it's older only, or neurodevelopmental, it's only younger. But we found that across these 13, 60% of people with a brain disorder condition are adults between the ages of 18 and 64. Another kind of big finding we had was that 1 in 6 people have more than one type of brain condition. So this really goes to show, brain conditions aren't siloed. There's lots of overlap, and that also tells us that the care we provide for one disorder might also be applicable for another. And then the last big thing I want to pull out there was mental health and addiction system use. So we used health system data similar to the Neurotrauma Care Pathways, and we found that people with brain conditions or disorders use mental health and addiction services more. So this is a gap that we really need to start trying to solve. I'm going to move on to some of our programs that are geared towards community groups. One of our programs is called the GEEK program for community organizations. And through this program, we provide funding, evaluation, expertise, and support to community groups. And the program really arose as a response to what we heard from community organizations in our network about their capacity to evaluate their programs and learn, are our programs having the outcomes we want them to? Are they helping people the way we want? And then just about the general lack of funding in community organizations. So one example of an organization who received GEEK funding was the Vista Center Brain Injury Services. So I'm just going to quickly highlight their project, and for all the community organizations out there, if you want to evaluate your program, the sorts of evaluation questions and support you get really depends on what your program needs. So we're very much open to all types of evaluation for community organizations that help people with brain disorders or conditions. So Vista Center received GEEK awarding for their acquired brain injury transition program. So this was their partnership with the Robin Easy Center. Some of the evaluation questions they asked was, is the program effective? Are clients' needs being met and are they satisfied? And is the partnership model they had with the Robin Easy Center effective? Through the evaluation portion of this program, they were able to see 85 clients, and they were able to learn and develop different tools for their organization to answer these evaluation questions. For example, they were able to develop a database to monitor patient flow. They were able to adapt their patient satisfactory surveys and fine-tune the partnership with an MOU. So if you're a community organization and this program sounds interesting to you, we're having our next open call in mid to late August. If you're able to scan that QR code, do so, but if not, you can come see me at the OBI booth after for more information about applying to this program. One of the other programs we run, as I mentioned, is the event funding program. We're always looking to support events related to brain health, and especially events that bring together different sorts of people. So there's a lot of different, whether you're someone with acquired or traumatic brain injury, if you're a community organization, if you're an allied health professional, events like this that bring together all these different types of people we like to support, or different events that also bring together people with different sorts of brain conditions. This program runs 3 times a year. So if you host an event that you would like funding for and you think it kind of fits these criteria, our next deadline is July 1st, and that's for events between August 1st and November 30th. Because I knew there was also students in the audience today, I wanted to mention our internship program. So through this program, students are placed with one of our partner institutions, and the internship is OBI supported, and they're able to work on a project at that partner institution. So again, our partners could be different non-for-profits, it could be a neurotechnology company, or it could be even a more policy-related institution. So if you're interested in getting real-world work experience in the brain health space, but you're not really sure what avenue, you can look out and reach out to the manager of our internship program and see if any of your interests align with any of the project opportunities that are open. And then, I can take a question now.
All right, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do we have a mic?
I know, I'll speak up. Don't
Okay.
worry. Oh, and what's your name again?
My name's Kayla.
Kayla, oh, your beautiful name.
Well, thank you.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, is there any jobs you have available? I'm graduating Monday with a clinical counseling certificate, and I already have a theology certificate. Any jobs available in those fields?
Right now, OBI has jobs open, but not in those fields. They're all about computer programming.
Really?
I don't know anything about that, but so no jobs in that field, but we do have internships that are open right now, and different positions open all the time.
We'll check it out.
Yeah, we have a careers page, so you can check that one out too.
Yeah.
So the last thing under the connected care bucket I wanted to talk about, and this is really our most public-facing thing that we do because we're kind of a bigger picture intermediary organization. We don't work directly with the public in all the things we do. Is our public talk series. So these public talks are meant to be very accessible and understandable and provide updates on what's going on in the research field about different things related to brain health. Our series this year is all about brain health basics. So getting down to those everyday things that are related to brain health. Our next public talk that's coming up is on June 2nd, and these are hybrid. So if you happen to be in the Greater Toronto area, you're welcome to attend in person, but if you're in the Ottawa region or outside of the Greater Toronto area, all our talks are able to be live streamed and will be available on our website after. So the first one in the Brain Health Basics series is about movement and the benefits of movement to brain health. A lot of these things actually relate exactly to what a lot of the students' presentations were about, just like the last one we heard about physical activity and previously about yoga. So it really does help your brain health. A couple of the other ones we have later in the year in November and then in March is on sleep and relaxation. And the last one is on eat and play and about healthy eating and socialization. So a lot of these everyday things we hear maybe from elders or parents about get your sleep and eat healthy. It really does impact your brain health. And that's what these talks will be about.
Thank you, Kayla.
You're welcome. And with that, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me now, or you can come see me at the booth after. If you want to stay up to date on any of the research, events, or programming we host, you can also subscribe to our newsletters.
Sorry about that. So what kind of food you guys eat there,
Well, I usually pack my lunch, so I eat pretty healthy.
That's good.